This is a Victorian great house, and you are a servant in it. You are 14, and you are about to spend your entire life below its stairs at every rank, from the scullery to the housekeeper's keys. You are 13 when the workhouse finds you a place, because a workhouse girl is trained for exactly one thing, and it is this: to be useful in a house that will never be yours. They send you to Harrow Court, 40 rooms and 30 servants and one family, and the carrier sets you down at a door you must learn, tonight, never to use again. There are two doors in this world now, the one the family uses and the one you use, and the whole of your life will be spent learning the difference. You send your first wage home in an envelope every quarter, like a soldier remitting his pay from a foreign war. The scullery maid. You are the lowest thing in the house that is still paid, and you sleep in the coldest room, and you rise before anyone in the dark to light the fires so that the people above you may wake to a warm house and never once wonder how it got warm. The scullery is your kingdom, the greasy water, the black pots, the knives to be scoured with brick dust until your knuckles crack along the same lines your mother's cracked in the workhouse laundry. You have inherited her hands. You do not speak to the family. You do not, if it can be managed, exist to the family. The rule at Harrow Court is that a servant seen in the wrong corridor turns her face to the wall until they pass. You are furniture that breathes. Learn to breathe quietly. The house. Learn the house, because the house is two houses stacked one on the other, and they are at war, and only one side knows it. Above stairs, light and carpet and time. Below stairs, stone and bells, and none. The green baize door between them is the most important border in England, and you will cross it 10,000 times, always carrying something up, always carrying nothing back. There is an order below stairs stricter than anything above. The butler and the housekeeper reign. The footmen look down on the maids, the upper servants dine apart from the lower, and the scullery maid eats last and least and rises first. The poor did not invent this cruelty. They learned it from above and practice it below. The kitchen maid. At 15 you rise to kitchen maid, and the cook becomes your weather. All sun or all storm, and never a forecast. You prepare what she creates, you pluck, you scold, you chop before dawn for meals you will never taste. You see for the first time how much a rich house wastes, and you understand a thing no reformer ever told you: there was always enough. There was always enough. It was simply arranged to be elsewhere. The housemaid. The bells rule you now. A great board hangs in the passage, one bell for every room, and when a bell trembles you go up the back stairs, always the back stairs, never seen. A great board of servants' bells hangs in the passage, one for every room, labelled in faded ink, several trembling at once. You clean a house you are forbidden to enjoy. You dust books you may not read, in a library warmer than any room you will ever sleep in. You make beds you will never lie in, and empty the china from under them, and carry it down the back stairs with your face composed. The half-day. Once a month, if the mistress is kind and the house can spare you, you are given a half-day, an afternoon, 6 hours a year of daylight that belongs to you. You spend one half-day writing home. You do not say you are unhappy. You say the house is grand and the family kind, and you are getting on. A servant learns to write the way she learns to walk the corridors, showing only the side that is permitted to be seen. The character. Now understand the single thread your whole life hangs by. It is called your character, the letter of reference the mistress writes when you leave. Without it, no house will take you, and a woman without a place is a woman in the street. It is given entirely at the mistress's pleasure. She may withhold it for a broken vase, for a look, for a suspicion, for nothing she is required to explain. A single word, dismissed without character, and 13 years are erased, and you are back at the workhouse gate, only alone this time. The master's son. There is a danger in the great house that no one below stairs names above a whisper, and it walks in on a Friday from the university, charming and idle and 19. You know the rule before anyone says it: if something happens, it is your fault. He keeps his character, you lose yours. He keeps his place at the head of the table. You keep a bundle and a walk to the station and a silence you will carry for 50 years. You are lucky. For you, it stays at a hand caught at the wrong moment and a look you pretend not to understand. Others were not lucky. There is a housemaid 2 counties over, dismissed without character in her 6th month, whose fault it was not, and it will not save her that it was not her fault, because fault, in the great house, flows in exactly one direction, downhill. The lady's maid. By your 30s, you rise above the general work. You become a lady's maid, the mistress's own, dressing her, keeping her secrets, closer to her than her husband, and further from her than her dog. You know the shape of her sadness and the name of her lover and the truth of her age, and she knows nothing of you at all. You are a mirror that has learned to fold clothes. A secret told to furniture is a secret kept. You are warm now, and fed, and your hands have healed, and you have paid for it in a currency you did not know you were spending. You have no life of your own left to have. You gave it, hour by hour, up the back stairs, to a family whose bells you will hear in your sleep until you die. The housekeeper. At the last, you are the housekeeper. The keys of the house hang from your belt, the stores, the linen, the wine, the maids. Below stairs, you are the queen. Above stairs, you are still nobody, but a nobody with keys. A new girl arrives from a workhouse in the spring, 13, cropped, terrified, turning her face to the wall as you pass. You know that girl. You were that girl. She breaks a vase in her first month. You must decide what goes in her character. You hold the pen the mistress once held over you. You could remember the frozen scullery and the fear and be merciful, and some days you are. But there is an order to keep, and 30 servants who will slacken if the newest is not made afraid. You write her a fair character. You are proud of that. It is a small mercy inside a large machine, and it changes nothing, and you do it anyway, because it is the one thing the house could never quite take from you, the choice, each time, to be 1 degree kinder than the house requires, and to know it will not be enough. The wages. You never marry. The house did not allow it, and by the time you were free to, the wanting had been trained out of you like an accent. But every quarter, for 40 years, an envelope goes south. It built a roof. It kept a rent from ever falling 2 weeks behind. It bought a niece a wedding dress and a nephew a start, and none of them will ever know the frozen dawns it was scoured out of. Every family has a woman like you in it somewhere. Unmarried aunt, good with her hands, sent money, said little, kept the whole thing standing from behind a green baize door no one else could see. When they raise a glass to the family's rise, they will not know to raise it to you. You would not want them to. The bellboard still hangs in the passage, and one of the bells is trembling. That is not despair. In the England you were born to, that is the sound of a house running exactly as it was built to run. One girl, sent into service at 14, who gave a whole life to a family that never learned her name. History is full of these houses. We are opening them, one life at a time. Subscribe, and no one gets forgotten twice.